Cup of Nations. And what a surprise, I have to say it is, because so far there are two teams that nobody expected to reach to this particular stage, and that is South Africa and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the two teams are facing giants, so they have been in previous Africa Cup of Nations or global football for that matter in Nigeria and Ivory Coast. But the game that we are more concerned about at this particular moment is the one that pits Amapiano versus Afrobeat. Who takes the day? That is going to be the big equation today. And already I started seeing diplomatic rows that are happening between the two countries, but that is not what has brought us here. We are here to talk matters football, see who actually takes the night for us today. And it's a great pleasure for me, Samim Raya, to be your host on these. And I'm joined by two former international players. I'll start with Josephat Murila, controller, once also known as Attorney General. He'll tell us why he got those names. But Josephat, karibu sana.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure actually seeing you after a very long time. I think the last time we sat here with you was during the World Cup.
World Cup, yeah.
And I think I like the fact that you got the color scheme, or what we were supposed to wear. Bonnie totally missed out like he always does. And also Boniface Mbani with us in studio. Donning Ingwe colors, you're still very loyal to your Ingwe, I see. Karibu sana Bun.
I'm good. How are you?
I've been well. Yourself?
I'm fine. Huh?
We had said today we are wearing grey and
You
pink.
said you do.
How comes you're the only one holding anyway? That's just a joke, but Boni, karibu sana. Quite a big match that we are looking forward to this evening, and one where basically most people will be looking at Bafana Bafana as the underdogs. But so far, they've done really, really well. Their goalkeeper and captain, Williams, has been brilliant so far. Are we going to see another star-studded performance by their goalkeeper?
The most interesting part today that I read somewhere was Chipa United. Huh? Chipa United supporting Nigeria. You can try to imagine. Yes,
No, but it's only one individual. At Chipa United, that's the boss. Because the Bafana goalkeeper is their player.
Yeah, Bafana,
The goalkeeper.
the keeper.
Yes.
The keeper for Nigeria, Nabwali.
Yes.
Plays for Chipa United.
Yes.
So you can try to imagine. They wrote a letter. They say they are behind their star. So they're expecting Nigeria to win. So you can try to imagine.
But that already shows you...
A very interesting show. Chipa United itself is a South African team, yeah? So you can try to imagine.
No, but I think I understand where they're coming from, because we are looking at a Chipa United who plays against Mamelodi Sundowns in the PSL. Yeah. That is a South African league. And you know very well that the Bafana has 9 players who play for Mamelodi Sundowns. So I would understand why Chipa United would want to support the Super Eagles as opposed to supporting their own. But Murila, let's talk about, because you are a utility player for not only the teams that you played for locally, but also for the national team. You played all positions. But just looking at the South African side, they've not scored as many goals as many people expected, but they have been super disciplined at the back. And like I asked Bonnie, their goalkeeper, Williams, has been brilliant. Their defense has been brilliant. They've only conceded actually 2 goals in these African Cup of Nations. And if you look at the Super Eagles, they've not scored as many goals themselves coming into these finals. So are we seeing a scenario where we might be seeing penalties again?
I'm not looking at penalties. One thing I look at the South African team is a team that does its work as a teamwork. Communication-wise, otherwise they go in like the bees. They just work as like a team. At the second level is they have got character. You can read them and say, yes, they are doing something good. So from that end, you expect this thing penalties may be unlucky, but we expect it to end at 90 minutes.
Well, Josephat Murila believes that this match will end at the 90th minute mark. We are also expecting a guest for us today. That is again a guest analyst, and that is the Principal Secretary from the Ministry of ICT, Professor Edward Kisiangani, who's on his way to the studio as we speak. And we will also be asking him about his football prowess. I've always seen him complaining about Chelsea on social media, and they've not been doing so well recently. Yeah?
Is he a fan of Chelsea?
Well, he's a big Chelsea fan. He'll be telling us about it, and of course, whether he has played football in the past. But then, Bonnie, you have played for the Harambee Stars, and you have seen what it does when you have so many players playing for one side, the unity that comes from these set of players, and that is what we're experiencing with South Africa. Like I said earlier on, they have 9 players playing for Mamelodi Sundowns in the PSL. Will that be the key for them today?
Yeah, probably it's going to be a key, because these are players that have played together for quite a long time. If I can just take you back, the national team Harambee Stars, it just used to consist of only how many teams? 2 teams, FC Leopards and Gor Mahia.
And Gor Mahia.
You could get the whole squad.
1 or 2 from Tusker.
1 or 2 from Tusker. I think my seniors here can attest to that. Yeah. So definitely it plays a key role, a key thing, because I remember even Coach Kimanzi, Francis, when he was coaching the national team also, he used to call players from different clubs, but when you see, actually, most of those players were part of Madare squad. So the unity and the understanding in between those players is the key. And that's why you see nobody's even complaining. Yeah? They are the best players. At the end of the day, you are looking at which position. Each position, when you select the national team, you are looking at each position, who is the best in that position. So you have to call. So even if there are 10 or 11, there's no problem. Spain has been doing the same.
Because we've actually seen a Spanish team that has taken a lot of players from Barcelona and Real Madrid, and they've gone. They actually went on to win the World Cup and the Euros after that. But then, Murila, for you, very similar question like Ambani has told us. Basically, you also experienced a tenure where the Harambee Stars team picked players from very similar teams, and you are one of those players back in the days playing for AFC Leopards. How did it help when you had so many players from one team? Did it help with the gelling of the squad?
The first thing is you have the same culture, which is very important in sport. Then the next thing, the discipline network must be maintained. The way you have said South Africa is disciplined, it has brought that discipline because each one knows the behavioral instinct of the other. So that's a disciplined situation. The last one is the mentor. You are supporting one another, so you are playing for one another.
Well, as you can hear, we are having a bit of fun here as we get Professor Edward Kisiangani joining us in studio. And like I had mentioned earlier, he has been known to be a Chelsea fan, and of course I will be assuming that he is also a Chingwe fan and I'm just judging by what he's wearing in terms of blue and white kits. Literally shows us where his loyalties basically and of course he's acknowledging two of his former players at Chingwe that he has generally got to play in the past, and who we will be joining here as we do a little bit of dancing with him at the moment. Hey, Prof. Hey, Prof. Yes. I thought you were going to have a kickabout to see whether your football prowess is as good as...
I did it when we were giving you the rights. You didn't see?
I actually watched it.
Yes, I did.
Quite great.
Yes.
Karibu sana, Prof.
Yes.
And it's a
But
real
Murila
pleasure.
will do better than me.
Yeah?
Murila will do better than me.
Murila will definitely do better than you. But just like I told you, we have been joined by the Principal Secretary at the Ministry of ICT, Professor Edward Kisiangani, who's a football fan. And I started by actually saying that he has worn colors of two teams that I know he has supported for a very long time. First of all, Chingwe here at home. And Prof, I always see you complaining about Chelsea on social media.
Yes, that is also my team.
See the color.
And you can see.
I see, that's why I said you're wearing those colors, blue and white.
We're not like Arsenal, who have no trophy for almost 20 years. We are European champions.
But I saw you complaining even on Monday because of the loss that happened.
We shall reshuffle the team. It is not playing. It has no Chelsea spirit. And we shall sack a couple of people, including the coach. I think we should hire Williams, the goalkeeper of South Africa.
Oh, he's good.
We have great goalkeepers in this AFCON. They can turn out for Chelsea. And I'm checking.
You are checking, and now the Prof has turned into an agent, which is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes you go for what is best for your team. But Prof, just before you came to the studio, we were literally looking at these two sides, that is South Africa and Nigeria, and the fact that just looking at the way the two teams have progressed to these semi-final that we are just about to watch. Nigeria looks like the more comfortable team, as much as they've not scored so many goals. They've been more comfortable than South Africa, but South Africa has been very disciplined at the back, and I appreciate the fact that you mentioned their goalkeeper. And I had just asked these two gentlemen, just looking at these two sides, Bafana has a team that is locally assembled, a lot of local players. Nigeria, on the other hand, has a team that has a lot of foreign-based players. If you were to gamble, like I'm not calling you a gambling man, but where would you place your money between those two teams?
Well, I think, first of all, to think about, I must officially appreciate the fact that you have invited me here, and also the fact that we are watching football, which is consistent with the government decision to take things to the grassroots. A lot of our people can't afford pay TV. And the fact that KBC is doing that is very good. It's a government initiative, and I think many kids across the country are very happy about this, because apart from just enjoying the victory or complaining about the loss, the ball skills and the many ball skills and details we have seen in this tournament are great for our kids and a good motivation. Now, coming to your question about South Africa and Nigeria. I think in terms of stability, South Africa is more stable. They recognize a lot of talent, which has played together. And if you look at those players, majority of them are from Mamelodi Sundowns. So at team level, they've done very well in the CAF Championship. So at that point, when you compare them with Nigeria, which has a lot of people scattered all over the world, Southampton, you have Everton, maybe you have a couple of them, they are spread all over. Osmani, Napoli. All these guys, in terms of gelling, if you are a coach, things can go bad in a game like this one in terms of tactics, because you have not stayed with the team enough, had enough time with the team to gel and to know when danger is coming. This is the problem with the players playing outside. You saw how Cape Verde collapsed. You can have good players, but I think in terms of a team, South Africa has a team. Nigeria has professionals who are playing football across the country. Whether they can rise to the occasion and harass South Africa is another matter. But the fact that you have more players in the South Africa team who are playing with one club, top clubs, they are used to each other, they could carry the day.
Well, they could carry the day. We also have the Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Babuna Mwamba, who's already in Abidjan, and he also gave us his views as far as these two teams are concerned. And I want us to hear what the CS had to say, so that we can give the good professor here a few minutes to just relax, have a cup of water, and then we will be back to give you more analysis of this match.
Coming to you live from Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, right next to the iconic
Tupatie Prof time.
in the center of this beautiful city of Abidjan, gearing up for the epic semi-finals as we near the climax of a truly, undoubtedly, unequivocally incredible Africa Cup of Nations on the West Coast. So tonight, semi-final one, South Africa going head-to-head with Nigeria. What a game. Almost has the complexion of a grudge match. Barely any love lost between these two very strong teams. Nigeria boasting an incredible squad made up virtually entirely of foreign-based talents, great talents. Victor Osimhen has been setting the Italian league alight and the European Champions League too. Ademola Lookman seems like he's back. Musa, you look right across that Nigerian squad and it is oozing with top class talents. But South Africa has been among the surprise packages of this tournament. And what one really must admire about the Bafana is that this is a team made up entirely of home-based talent. Absolutely incredible, given that a lot of the teams at this tournament have brought players who principally turn out for foreign clubs. And so big up to South Africa, good lesson to Kenya and other African countries that a strong league, a strong domestic league, should actually be the foundation for building a strong national teams. And so you look at that South African squad, you look at players like Teboho Mokoena, who has done incredibly well, the goalkeeper Williams, and these are goalkeeper who has really at times carried this national squad to where they are. And so you see a South African team that is equally quite competitive. And therefore, it should be an epic game, an incredible exhibition of African football between two powerhouses of African football. Nigeria, 3 times winners. South Africa have won it once in 1996. And so both teams have a history of champions, of having won this tournament. And so all the best to the two teams. If I were to toss my coin, which way would this one go? Would you go for the foreign legion of the Super Eagles, or would you go for the domestic stars of Bafana? Let me hold my call. But obviously, I am very attracted to the idea of building strong domestic leagues, because that then gives African football a strong home foundation. But for this one, tough one to call. May the best win carry this one.
Well, very tough to call indeed, Bona CS there. And everyone tends to agree with you, because if you look at the statistics between these two sides, and I appreciate, Bona CS, that you literally mentioned it. It's been a very tough fixture between these two sides. There's only 1 win for each of them. So 1 win for South Africa, 1 win for Nigeria, and 3 draws. So there's very little to separate the two teams. And it looks like everyone keeps on talking about the local prowess, Murila. And I know this is a question that I had asked earlier. Well, there's also the pressure that has been mounting on the South African coach, Bruce, because he won the African Cup of Nations with Cameroon in 2017. He did a very similar thing for him to get all the way to win it, having a lot of local-based players, because they gave him very little time to literally train them, because they know each other. They've played together, domestically, they understand each other, and that is the same mentality that he has come with. he received a lot of criticism, especially from South African fans who were not happy that he was picking players from one team. And I had asked you earlier on, how does it work? Does it work or does it not work? So far, we are seeing it working for South Africa. It worked for Bruce when he was the coach for Cameroon. He went all the way to win the African Cup of Nations in 2017. Are we seeing a situation where he might be able to do it twice, 2017 and 2023?
I have a feeling, a very mild feeling, that what he did is going to place him to another level because he has really put his hope in the local talent. And that local talent can at least give him the hope that he is the right person. And one thing that I believe that he has done is very simple, is he has gone back to South Africa, looked at the talent, looked at what they have, the physical nature of the people, the psychological nature of the people, and said, I cannot bring somebody else inside you to disrupt your mental situation. So he's working on the mental capacity of these players. And if they can take it, they are there to win.
Well, if they can take it, they are there to win. I'll just go through the two lineups very quickly. And Bonnie, I want you to talk a bit about the Nigerian side. Stanley Nwabali is in goal, and he's the one that you were talking about, who plays for Chippa United in South Africa. Ola Aina, William Troost Ekong, who's the captain for Nigeria in defense. Semi Ajayi, Calvin Bassi, they complete the defense for Nigeria. Bright Osai, Samuel, Frank Onyeka, and Alex Iwobi are the three who are anchoring the midfield for Nigeria. Moses Simon, Victor Osimhen, and Ademola Lookman are the three that will be up front for Nigeria. Now, I want us to first look at Osimhen. He's not performed as well as most people expected him to in these African Cup of Nations, Bonnie. You were a striker yourself. Yesterday he had a tummy upset and he couldn't even travel with the team, only for them to confirm today that, yes, he joined them yesterday. He's fit enough to play. We have seen these happen before, and I want to go back to the 1998 World Cup, where we had one Ronaldo falling sick a few hours before their match, Brazil versus France, and he didn't perform at all in that final, and it has always been a case of whether he was poisoned or not. We are seeing another prolific striker here who falls sick a few hours to the game. Should he have been rested? Was it okay for the coach to play him?
At times you might think maybe he's sick, but sometimes to me it's mind games. Yeah? Coaches and officials tend to play a lot of mind games. So to me, Osimhen is doing his level best. He has been to his top. Okay, fine, maybe we may say that he has not been scoring goals, but at the end of the day, he has been creating goals. He has been doing what he's supposed to do as a striker. All those runs, making those runs, disturbing, pulling those defenders out of the box, and you know the concentration all takes to him. And once he gets out of the box, does those runs, then definitely it's creating chances for other guys to come and finish. So to me, I can't actually say that he has not performed. To me, he has performed tremendously well, and I'm expecting him also to continue doing what he's doing. As a striker, you might not score goal, but what do? You create a chance, yeah? You have to create a chance. Remember the last match, they won 2-0. The second goal, he was nearly being taken down, but what did he do? Strong enough, stayed on his feet, and he had to pass the ball off and assist. At the end of the day, the most important thing, you didn't score, but you assisted. You didn't assist, but you created the chances for other guys to come and score. At the end of the day, the team has won.
Well, at the end of the day, the team has won. And Prof, I just want to ask you a question. Victor Osimhen came into this Africa Cup of Nations as the best player. Literally, he was declared the CAF Player of the Year for the last 1 year. And I know you're one gentleman who's used to handling pressure from the classroom to the political aspect and even in your office right now. But just looking at it from a footballing perspective, what happens sometimes when you go to that big stage when there's a lot of expectation on you, a lot of expectation on your back, and so many people looking up to you? in terms of pressure, one, and even performance. Could it be also affecting his performance?
I think it has got to do with the struggle for the right tactics by the coach. It's not about the player. He has been playing for Napoli.
Yes.
Iheanacho is in the Premier League in England. Lookman has been in England before moving over to Italy. The philosophy of football that you find in Italy doesn't resemble the one in England.
In England, very true.
Yeah, so they have different philosophies. Then these players are coming from different philosophies. If he was playing locally in South Africa, for example, and with all this galaxy of players in Mamelodi Sundowns, he would not struggle. But depending on who coaches him at Napoli, and now there's a new coach in Nigeria, that's making the other players work with him is where the challenge is. It's not that he has not performed, because it's not an individual game. Football is a family. When you are in the field, you are a family. So that's why he struggled, because he could move. You could do the triangulation within the field. And you say, when I make this triangle and it's moving, or you put a diamond within the penalty area, and you start moving with the diamond, and then you want to squeeze everybody within the diamond, other players don't move at his pace. So he struggles. And like even Iheanacho and other players, they have also been struggling. So quickly, what I want to tell you is this. He could shine today, but it's up to tactics. But the coach who is more comfortable is the South African person. Now, they are playing formations. I think that is something that you...
Actually, they've gone for a very similar formation. And, Bonapius, unfortunately, I have to cut you because we have to go over to Ivory Coast for the first half of this match. And I like the fact that the PS did his research very well. We will be grilling you once we watch the first 25 minutes. Thank you very much.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future, a Pan-African future, together. EcoBank, a better way, a better Africa.
Attention all journalists and media practitioners. The Media Council of Kenya wishes to notify all local and foreign journalists and media practitioners practicing in Kenya that the application and renewal of press cards for 2024 is ongoing, and we want you to be part of it. Getting accredited is just a click away. Visit our user-friendly online portal on the Media Council of Kenya website, accreditation.mediacouncil.or.ke, /88